Today, we uncover the 5 olive oil brands the UK should be warning about. Products cut with cheap seed oils and sold as pure. Bottles so adulterated and fraudulent that calling them olive oil is starting to feel generous. For decades, the British public was told that olive oil was liquid gold, the heart-healthy Mediterranean secret to longevity. That drizzling it over our salads and cooking with it daily was the key to a healthier life. They convinced us that olive oil was the ultimate superfood, while quietly filling our bottles with cheap vegetable oils, chemical extracts, and diluted imposters that never saw an olive grove. Fast forward to today, and the olive oil on your shelf might not even be olive oil at all. The industry has not become more honest. It has become more deceptive. And the very product they told us would protect our hearts may actually be harming them. Instead, they replaced real extra virgin olive oil with factory blends. Products so heavily cut, deodorized, refined, and chemically treated that the ingredient reality reads more like industrial lubricant than food. The supermarkets pushed it. Celebrity chefs endorsed it. And for decades, we believed them. Because olive oil used to be simple, pressed olives, nothing else. But the olive oil on supermarket shelves today has quietly become one of the most fraudulent items in your entire shopping trolley. Cut with seed oils, mislabeled as extra virgin, and so far removed from real Mediterranean tradition that no Italian grandmother would recognize it as food. If this investigation into what is really in your kitchen has opened your eyes, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe, because the food industry's deceptions run far deeper than just olive oil, and we are exposing them all. Number 1. Filippo Berio Extra Virgin Olive Oil. The brand that built an empire on an Italian name and Mediterranean imagery while selling you something that barely resembles traditional olive oil. Walk down any British supermarket aisle and you will see it. The green bottle, the Italian flag colors, the rustic font, the promise of authenticity. Filippo Berio has spent decades carefully crafting an image of heritage, tradition, and quality. But peel back the marketing, and the truth is far less romantic. This is one of the most mass-produced, industrially processed olive oils in the UK market. And the more you dig, the more you realize this brand represents everything wrong with modern olive oil. Filippo Berio is owned by Salov, a massive industrial company that processes olive oil on a scale that has nothing to do with artisan production or family groves. We are talking about a corporation that handles hundreds of millions of liters per year. Oil sourced from multiple countries, blended in factories, bottled in industrial plants, and shipped across continents. This is not a small Italian producer lovingly pressing olives at harvest. This is big food wearing an Italian costume. Here is where it gets worse. Multiple independent tests over the years have found that many mass-market extra virgin olive oils, including ones from major brands like Filippo Berio, failed to meet the chemical and sensory standards required to be legally called extra virgin. Some were found to be oxidized, meaning they had gone rancid. Others showed signs of being cut with refined olive oil or even other oils entirely. Some had been heat-treated or chemically deodorized to hide defects. And yet, they still carried that extra virgin label because testing and enforcement in this industry is practically non-existent. In 2015, tests by German consumer group Stiftung Warentest found that Filippo Berio extra virgin olive oil was heavily oxidized and failed quality standards. It was not an isolated incident. Similar results have appeared in tests across Europe and North America. The oil that millions of British families trusted was not what it claimed to be. And this raises the most uncomfortable question of all. If one of the biggest, most recognizable olive oil brands in the UK cannot guarantee real extra virgin quality, what hope do we have with the rest? Filippo Berio built its brand on Italian authenticity, then quietly became a symbol of everything fake. Fakey about modern food. Number 2. Napolina Extra Virgin Olive Oil. Another Italian-sounding name, another green bottle, another promise of Mediterranean purity. And just like Filippo Berio, it is a mass-market product built on industrial-scale production, vague sourcing, and marketing that has almost nothing to do with the oil inside the bottle. Napolina has been in British kitchens for generations. It is the oil people buy when they want something familiar, affordable, and seemingly trustworthy. But trustworthy is the last word that should be associated with this brand. Napolina, like so many supermarket olive oils, sources its oil from multiple countries, blends it in bulk, and processes it in ways that strip away most of the health benefits people think they are getting. The label says extra virgin, but the reality is far murkier. In independent testing, Napolina has repeatedly been flagged for quality issues. Oxidation, rancidity, and failure to meet the sensory profile required for true extra virgin classification have all been reported. Some tests have even suggested the presence of refined oils or seed oil contamination. And yet, it stays on the shelves, marketed as pure, healthy Mediterranean gold. The problem with Napolina is not just that it is low quality, it is that it represents the normalization of fraud. When brands this big and this established can sell substandard oil under premium labels, it tells you everything you need to know about how broken this industry really is. The regulations are weak, the testing is minimal, and the penalties are almost non-existent. So companies keep doing it because they know they can get away with it. People buy Napolina thinking they are making a healthy choice. They drizzle it over salads, cook with it, feed it to their children, believing they are getting the antioxidants, polyphenols, and healthy fats that real extra virgin olive oil provides. But if the oil has been oxidized, refined, or cut with cheaper oils, those benefits vanish. What you are left with is an expensive bottle of disappointment that may actually be doing more harm than good. Napolina built its reputation on Italian heritage, then quietly became another cog in the industrial food machine. Number 3. Tesco Extra Virgin Olive Oil. The supermarket-owned brand that millions of British households buy without a second thought. The one people throw into the trolley because it is cheap, it is convenient, and surely Tesco would not sell us something that was not what it claimed to be. Right? Wrong. Tesco's own brand extra virgin olive oil is one of the clearest examples of how little the supermarket giants care about quality when it comes to olive oil. This is not a premium product. This is not even a mid-range product. This is bottom-tier oil, sourced from wherever it is cheapest, blended in bulk, and slapped with an extra virgin label because they know most people will not question it. And the worst part? Independent tests have repeatedly shown that supermarket-owned brand olive oils are among the most likely to fail quality standards. In 2012, a landmark study by researchers at UC Davis found that 69% of imported olive oils labeled as extra virgin in the US failed to meet international standards. Similar testing in Europe has shown the same pattern. And supermarket-owned brands like Tesco's are consistently among the worst offenders. Why? Because they are built on price, not quality. Tesco needs to compete with other supermarkets, so they source the cheapest oil available, often from countries with lax standards like Spain, Greece, or Tunisia, blend it together, bottle it, and sell it as extra virgin. There is no single estate, no traceability, no transparency, just bulk commodity oil with a green label. And here is the part that should make you angry. Tesco knows this. They know the oil they are selling does not meet the standards their customers expect. They know that most of it is oxidized, low quality, or borderline fraudulent. But they also know that the average British shopper does not have access to lab testing, does not know what real extra virgin olive oil should taste like, and will not complain as long as the price is low. So they keep selling it. Year after year, bottle after bottle, while people think they are making a healthy choice. Tesco Extra. Virgin olive oil is the perfect example of supermarket deception. Cheap, convenient, and absolutely not what it claims to be. Number 4. Asda Extra Virgin Olive Oil. And just like Tesco, this is another supermarket-owned brand that prioritizes profit over purity. Asda's extra virgin olive oil is cut from the same cloth as every other bottom-tier supermarket oil. Sourced from multiple countries, blended in industrial facilities, and sold under a label that misleads customers into thinking they are getting something genuine. But genuine is the last thing this oil is. Asda, like all the major supermarkets, operates on a simple principle. Buy the cheapest oil available, blend it to create a consistent product, and sell it at a price point that undercuts the competition. Quality is not the priority. Traceability is not the priority. Health benefits are not the priority. The only priority is margin. And that is why Asda's olive oil, like Tesco's, consistently fails to live up to the extra virgin standard. Independent testing has shown time and time again that these supermarket oils are often rancid, oxidized, and lacking the polyphenols and antioxidants that make real extra virgin olive oil worth buying. Some have even been found to contain traces of seed oils or refined oils, mixed in to stretch the product further and increase profits. And the truly frustrating part? Asda's olive oil is marketed as a healthy staple, a kitchen essential, something you can trust. They put it in a nice bottle, they use terms like pure and extra virgin, and they price it just low enough to seem like a bargain. Millions of people fall for it because they do not know what real olive oil tastes like. They do not know that real extra virgin olive oil should have a peppery, slightly bitter finish. They do not know it should smell fresh, fruity, and vibrant. They have been conditioned by years of buying cheap, industrial oil to accept bland, neutral-tasting liquid as normal. And that is exactly how brands like Asda get away with it. They have trained an entire generation of British shoppers to accept mediocrity as standard. Asda extra virgin olive oil is not just low quality, it is a symptom of a much larger problem: the normalization of food fraud in the modern supermarket system. Number 5. Pompeian extra virgin olive oil. An American brand that has made its way onto British shelves, bringing the same problems as the homegrown frauds, but with an extra layer of distance and opacity. Pompeian markets itself as authentic, as Mediterranean, as pure. Scratch beneath the surface and you find the same industrial scale processing, the same vague sourcing, and the same repeated failures in independent testing. Pompeian sources its oil from multiple countries, blends it in American facilities, and ships it across the Atlantic to sit on British supermarket shelves for who knows how long. By the time you buy it, open it, and drizzle it over your food, that oil could be months, even over a year old. Olive oil degrades over time. Real extra virgin olive oil starts losing its health benefits the moment it is pressed. Light, heat, and oxygen all cause it to oxidize, turning those precious polyphenols into rancid compounds that can actually harm your health instead of helping it. Pompeian has been caught out. In multiple independent tests, including the landmark UC Davis study, Pompeian's extra virgin olive oil failed to meet the standards for extra virgin classification. It was found to be oxidized, defective, and lacking the sensory characteristics required by international standards. And yet, it is still sold as extra virgin, still marketed as healthy, still bought by people who trust the label. The problem with Pompeian is not just that it is bad oil, it is that it represents the globalized fraud of the olive oil industry. This is oil that has been shipped thousands of miles, processed in industrial facilities, and sold under labels that mean nothing because there is no one enforcing the rules. It is a system built on consumer ignorance and corporate greed. And the worst part? Pompeian is expensive. It is not a budget brand. People buy it thinking they are paying for quality, for authenticity, for the real thing. But they are not. They are paying for marketing, for packaging, for the illusion of premium while getting the same low-grade oil they would find in a Tesco-owned brand bottle. Pompeian extra virgin olive oil is proof that price does not equal quality in this industry. It is all smoke and mirrors. And now, bonus number 6, Carbonell extra virgin olive oil. Before we wrap this up, this one deserves special mention. Carbonell is one of Spain's oldest and most famous olive oil brands, with roots going back to 1866. That heritage, that history, that Spanish authenticity is exactly what they use to sell you oil that often does not live up to the legacy. Carbonell is now owned by Diolio, the largest olive oil company in the world. And when you are the largest, you are not focused on quality, you are focused on volume, efficiency, and profit. Diolio processes over 500 million liters of olive oil per year. That is not artisan production, that is industrial agriculture on a scale that makes real quality control almost impossible, and it shows in the product. Independent tests over the years have found that Carbonell, like so many other mass-market brands, often fails to meet true extra virgin standards. Oxidation, rancidity, sensory defects, the same issues that plague every other brand on this list. And yet, Carbonell trades on its Spanish heritage, its long history, and its recognizable name to convince British shoppers that they are getting something authentic. But what they are really getting is another mass-produced, industrially blended oil that has been sitting in a warehouse, on a ship, and on a shelf for far too long. The bottles might say extra virgin, but the contents tell a different story. Here is the truly uncomfortable reality. Carbonell represents the death of tradition in the olive oil world. This was once a brand that meant something, that stood for Spanish craftsmanship and quality. Now it is just another corporate label, another cog in the global food machine, selling us mediocrity while charging premium prices. If even the historic brands have abandoned quality, what hope is there for the industry as a whole? The uncomfortable truth is this. As these corporations become more profit-driven and more disconnected from real food than ever before, this situation is not going to magically improve. If anything, it is only going to get worse. Every year, the sourcing becomes more opaque. Every year, more corners get cut. Every year, the oil they deliver becomes more diluted, more oxidized, more fraudulent. Not because it makes the food better, not because it nourishes families, but because it boosts margins, speeds up production, extends shelf life, and keeps these companies competitive in a race to the bottom. And we are the ones paying the price with our health, with our trust, and with the slow erosion of food culture itself. So what do we do about it? You do not need to give up olive oil entirely or spend a fortune on artisan bottles overnight. Even the smallest step makes a difference. First, stop buying the big brands. Stop trusting labels that say extra virgin when they are produced by corporations processing millions of liters per year. Stop trusting vague claims and look for real quality. Instead, look for single estate oils, small producers, and bottles with harvest dates clearly printed on them. Real olive oil tells you exactly where it came from, when it was pressed, and who made it. If the label is vague, if it says product of multiple countries, or if there is no harvest date, put it back on the shelf. Choose single estate and transparent labeling. Second, taste your oil. Real extra virgin olive oil should taste vibrant, peppery, slightly bitter, and fruity. If your oil tastes bland, greasy, or neutral, it is not extra virgin. It has been refined, oxidized, or cut with something else. And once you taste real olive oil, you will never be able to go back to the supermarket stuff. Taste for yourself and trust your senses. Third, store it properly. Keep your olive oil in a dark bottle, away from light and heat, and use it within a few months of opening. Olive oil is not wine. It does not improve with age. It degrades. And even the best oil in the world will turn rancid if you leave it sitting in your cupboard for a year. Store in a dark place and use it fresh. And finally, educate yourself. Learn what real olive oil should taste like, learn to read labels, and learn which regions and producers are trustworthy. The olive oil industry is built on consumer ignorance. The moment you know what to look for, the fraud becomes obvious. And the moment enough people stop buying the fake stuff, the industry will be forced to change. Educate yourself and expose the fraud. Because the British public deserves real food and honesty. Instead, we have been sold illusions. They kept the name olive oil, but not the product. What we are buying today is not the olive oil of Mediterranean tradition. It is not the oil that has been nourishing civilizations for thousands of years. What we have now is something entirely different. We deserve real food and honest producers, something diluted, manipulated, deodorized, oxidized, and fraudulently labeled. Something so far removed from real food that calling it olive oil feels like a technicality. It is industrial oil, nothing more, nothing less. And that is why we need to pull back the curtain to show you what is really happening, and to remind you that you still have a choice. Industrial oil is not the same as real olive oil, and you have a choice. Because the moment we stop accepting these imposters, the moment we return to real ingredients, real food, real producers, that is the moment the industry is forced to change. Until then, stay aware, stay sharp, and protect your plate.